I'm older than you.
I was thinking about Byker Grove. That would have been a good one.
Byker Grove.
Byker Grove.
And I hear you're a massive Lord of the Rings fan, Sam. You went to the set, didn't you, in New Zealand?
Well, I was in New Zealand, yes, and we did go to Weta, where they do all the prosthetics, and you can see we got made up as a dwarf and an elf. And my dwarf was he was a bit rude. He used a lot of expletives. Yeah.
Not a tea time dwarf.
Not a tea time dwarf, but
No.
good at heart.
Yeah.
Now, before we talk about the book that accompanies the series Men in Kilts, let's have a look at Sam and Graham taking the Scottish spirit all the way to New Zealand.
I have to admit, I feel like an explorer. We might be the first people ever to come up here.
No. But it's still really great.
Well, the first men in kilts to come up here.
The first, maybe the first people in kilts.
The first people in commando on a glacier.
Didn't really need to know that.
Chilly.
Brave.
Chilly,
Very
chilly.
brave.
Claim to fame.
Now, so my husband is from New Zealand, but
really?
but I didn't realise there were so many Scottish connections.
There really is, yeah. I mean, a lot of, obviously, you know, the colonists came from Scotland. Obviously, they went to North America and Australia, but New Zealand as well. And there's this really strong connection. I mean, you have Dunedin, which is named after Edinburgh, and a lot of the street names there are all named after Edinburgh street names. And there was this real crossover of the Maori and the Scots that came and settled there. And, you know, when we were there in New Zealand, we got to see this. We got to see a local Maori kid playing the bagpipes, which was incredible. But yeah, they really had this amazing crossover.
Now, on the book, it's written by yourself and Graham. Would you describe it as like a travel vlog of sorts?
You could call it that, yeah, you could. Or you could say it's an argument. We basically wrote the first book. It was during COVID, and we were writing at the same time, and we realized, whilst writing at the same time, that we were arguing about what actually happened. And we realized that this format actually works. And we went to New Zealand. The man doesn't like doing anything scary or extreme.
No, but you do, right?
I love it. I love it. And of course, it is the capital of extreme sports. Queenstown, which I think you've been to, Simon.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an incredible place.
It's an adrenaline.
It's an adrenaline junkies
centre.
Paradise.
Yeah, paradise. Yeah.
But you did manage, obviously, to convince him to do the odd bit and bob, because
I did.
What's going on
well,
here?
there I pushed him over a cliff, tied to a bungee rope. We told him it was a swing.
Poor Graham.
Yeah, poor man. But actually, it goes upside down. You basically fall upside down and then swing. That's the Never Swing. An incredible one. We did speed boats, and we did, you know, off-road cars and zip lines. I mean, everything. It's got everything, New Zealand.
Swam with sharks.
Swam with sharks, yeah, kind of terrifying, actually. Those things are amazing. When you get down there and you're in their world, you realise not only how impressive they are, but also how intelligent. They know exactly what you're up to. They're kind of watching you rather than you're watching them.
Yeah.
Are you into that sort of stuff, Simon?
I remember being on a boat in New Zealand, actually, and the captain saying, "Don't worry if you fall overboard. Everything in there's big enough to eat you in one bite." Which was comforting.
Reassuring.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, Queenstown is one of those places, isn't it? It's just
incredible.
Yeah.
People go there, they gravitate towards there. I love snowboarding, and I went snowboarding there, and yeah, it just feels like the centre of craziness.
Yeah, it's definitely. I was drawn to it. It's a really fun place.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite time or moment from your time in New Zealand?
It's really hard. You know, it's this amazing group of islands. There's so much culture, and there's every landscape from like alpine to jungle to desert. But honestly, the Maoris, the Maori culture, you know, we got invited to a marae there, the local community, and we were welcomed in, and we did this whole ceremony where they sing and they tell us about their history and their heritage. We had to sing back to them, which was maybe not so impressive, but it was incredible. We sung "O Flower of Scotland" because it's our national anthem.
Just the two of you?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's very difficult. I've only ever done it drunk, so it was fun. But we got to do, you know, a lot of the haka. We got to touch on that, the waka race.
Amazing.
I mean, it was, you know, incredible, really immersive.
Now, something totally separate. You're in the Couples Next Door.
Yes.
Fans already screaming out for a second season.
People love it.
That must feel great.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's on Channel 4 and it's the most streamed drama ever on Channel 4.
Is it?
Yeah, it's done really well.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I believe so. So it's great. It's a 6-part drama, very bingeable, an amazing cast. We had such a good time shooting it in Belgium and the Netherlands. It's supposed to be set in Leeds, so...
Similar.
Yeah, very similar.
Similar
accent.
Yeah.
And you're filming the final series of Outlander.
It's bittersweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been 8 seasons. Well, this will be the 8th one. It's been 10 years of my life.
It's a long time, isn't it?
I'll be looking for a new job, Simon.
Slide in the DMs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been shooting Mission Impossible 2 for 10 years.
Wow.
No, it feels like it.
Yeah, it probably does, yeah. It's just incredible, and it's been an amazing journey, but it'll be sad to say goodbye to the ginger wig, for sure.
You could direct a Rick Astley video.
There you go.
It'd be fine.
As you said,
back
slide in his
off.
DMs.
Slide it.